Ugh. I don't have the energy for this. Whoops, what did I do? What's the button? What's the button? Okay, I'm using a controller. It doesn't seem to work real well. Okay, back to the old mouse and keyboard like God intended. Okay. Maddie's been running on empty for several days now. Especially with everyone watching me. I hope you packed enough conductors. My order form was pretty vague. Shouldn't be worrying about the conductors. I'm not even sure I can pull the whole thing off without some sort of major screw-up happening. The supplier knew what I wanted the conductors for anyway, so he would have packed enough. A good supplier knows enough about their clients to anticipate their needs. There's a certain amount of nosiness that is polite. He knows that I've got Ashley helping me. Helping you with the what, Madeline? Piss off, Ned. Rude. Just following her around. Move my mouse out of the way. Or not. You should respect your elders, you know. Ned is not a young man, even by the standards of semi-mortals. God, listen to you. The council made you soft, didn't it? Oh, respect your elders. Follow all of our totally arbitrary rules, or we'll make some cheap reason to destroy your business. My name's Ned, and I love rules. Are you done? Yep. Cool. You sound wounded. A steel chestplate can save you from a bleeding heart, but not a bruised ego. You should be nicer. Wow, sick comeback. What was it that guy you killed said? Oh Christ, I am shot. Oh no, woe is me. Just a little throwback humor for you. Did I strike a nerve? Did I just what? Maddie. When Ned spoke next, it was in a deep, dark cadence, steeped in guilt and self-loathing. If Maddie had been able to see his eyes, she would have faced a withering glare. We're rapidly reaching a point of no return. I can no longer promise to shield you from the consequences of your actions. What you did just there, quoting one of my victims' dying words at me, that was low. Even for you. Frankly, I'm disgusted. You dare poke at my guilt? You dare! Let's talk about guilt, shall we? I don't suppose you might have anything weighing on your conscience right now, would you? As I thought. There may still weigh heavily on me, but I am absolved of my sins. Some moral debts take a lifetime to work off. Ned's had more than a few lifetimes. I've had 100 years to process that, and to redeem myself through my actions. You? Your sins are fresh. They're lance marks on your soul, deep cuts in your aura. Swallow your arrogance, novice. I know what you did. Maddie's sins weigh heavily on Ned's mind. They weigh even heavier on hers. And I can't wait to see how you plan to make this right. Episode 5. Rainy Moods. 8:30 p.m. The terminal. Tuan, age 16. Thinks he's smart. Not antisocial, just shy. Read a bunch of Wikipedia articles on optometry and considers himself somewhat of an expert. Hannah, age 16. No, she's too smart for her own good. Hobbies, art people watching, self-indulgence, teenage angst. Taking advantage of the fact that she's too smart for her own good. So, I'm not sure that alcohol actually makes you feel anything. In fact, going by its chemical properties, I'd say it's the opposite. Shut up, dork. We're playing a heist. Metaphysical debates about alcohol can come after. But this isn't metaphysics. I was talking about simple chemical interactions with our brains. Tuan is a guy who has the look of someone who knows more about chemical interaction than human interaction. Please take the energy you're putting into entry and redirect it towards the plan. Hannah is a girl who's ordinarily down for wordplay, but right now she's too busy with physical shenanigans to have time for verbal shenanigans. The plan? The plan. What's the plan? I was thinking I could just reach over the bar and grab the first bottle I see. Sounds risky. Very chaotic neutral. And what's your alignment then? Neutral good? Uh-huh. I'd say it was lawful neutral, but that's the coward's option. Yeah. But getting back to the plan. Oh. Using your own pedantry to distract you was absolutely part of the plan. Wow, so little faith in me. Gotta minimize liabilities here. And it's still wanting to trust this guy. He doesn't have the look of an interloper, but you can never be too safe. You're out here playing checkers while I'm playing 6-dimensional upside-down laser chess. Shit. I've galaxy brained this, and now I'm holding the fruits of my labor. Don't you mean our labor? If you insist. Give me a closer look at that. What sort of fruit did we pluck from the booze tree? Really stretching that metaphor out, huh? Yup. I don't recognize the language on this label. What? Let me look. What the hell? Huh? I don't recognize it either. Maybe it's a cipher. A cider is made from fermented apple juice. A cipher is made from fermented word juice. Who'd make you read a cipher just to know what you're drinking? A sadist? Oh, we could ask Maddie what it is. She's a sadist, right? What do you call someone who enjoys the emphatic pain they feel from hurting others? Yeah, that idea sounds great. Let's go find her then. Apart from the fact that we specifically nicked it from her. Oh, right, we can't do that. You might be the lawful one here, dude. We agreed on neutral good. Me not challenging your assertion does not make it an agreement. Regardless. Wait, hold on. I sense a dark presence. Do you feel it? No, I don't feel anything particularly spooky in the air. Yeah, me either. Me neither. Oh, it's Maddie. Ah! Oh no! Hello, children. I see you've stooped to petty thievery. Some of the bottles on that shelf are old enough that swiping them would be an act of grand theft. Not this one, however. Alas, sprung. Can't believe my heist career is over so quickly. Aw, don't give up on your dreams, kids. Speaking of, do you know what happens when you drink this? I was assuming some sort of drunkenness. Does it make your teeth fall out? Well, last time I had a shot of this, I woke up Adelaide. Wow. So the result was 700 kilometers worth of drunkenness and bad decisions. But I woke up 6 hours before I took the shot. I had to drive a rented car back and explain to Shay why I disappeared without a trace and somehow accidentally time traveled. Oh shit, can we give it a try? God no. You ever heard of liquor licensing laws? I'd end up in jail. I think it'd be an excellent formative experience. Yeah, if you're not perpetrating teen drinking culture, you're a loser. Somehow I remain unconvinced by your passionate arguments. Well, we tried. You kids have way too much time on your hands, you know that? Better than not having enough, right? I'm utilizing my time to practice my skills. It's not wasted. Well, the non-existent industry sector that relies solely on the skill of reaching over bars and stealing bottles of enchanted booze is gonna be lucky to have you. Oh, that's so validating, thanks. Can I get you to a coffee or anything? Hot chocolate? Kinda busy tonight, but I'm hoping that bribing you with free drinks will stop you from nicking my shit. I'll take a free drink. I feel guilty taking one since it was all Twan's idea. Hey! But I'll graciously accept your offer. Neat, what'll it be? Hot chocolates for both of us? Hot chocolates for both of us. Alrighty, 2 hot chocolates coming up. Seriously, don't steal anything else in my back's turn or I'll feed you to Spite Elemental. I wonder... Spite Elemental. maybe it's a metaphor. Is she saying that she'll eat us? Is she the spite elemental? Oh no. Maybe the real spite elementals were the friends we made along the way? I hate this. Fair. Oh, who's this? Hello. New characters! I love new characters, don't you? Of course you do. Samantha. Age 32. American? Visiting Melbourne for work. Devastatingly patient. Trust me, you kids don't want to meet a spite elemental. Have you? Yep. Got pretty close to not making it out alive. I guess you're in a fairly exciting line of work then. This woman's line of work might seem intriguing to someone looking in from the outside, but to her, it's all business. It gets that way sometimes. But spite elementals aren't exciting. They're terrifying. They suck all the air out of a room and make the world ache. And they don't die easy. Huh? That's kind of metal. You sure do need brass balls to face one down, that's for sure. And a steely gaze? What? Because steel is a metal. And I said it was metal, and then you mentioned brass balls. So, you know what? I'll just shut up. Please back me up, Hannah. Nope, you brought this on yourself for me. No. Nah, she's totally right. What's going on? Are you bullying my customer, Samantha? Of course not. Good, because that's my job. You two should go enjoy the evening. There's a nice breeze blowing. Ooh, it's so eerily quiet. Now it's not. You remembered my name. That's sweet. Sweet isn't often a word people use to describe Maddie. That's the kind of remark that says more about the person who's talking than the person they're talking about. Of course I did. You're interesting. Doesn't that describe everyone who walks through your doors, though? Absolutely not, especially not in the way that you are. Some people would take offense at that. Your boss must be very different to mine. Well, my old boss, I guess. I'm my own boss now, actually. Maddie thinks she can make it all on her own. She just might turn out to be right. Apologies, your approach to hospitality work is very different from what I'm used to, is what I'm trying to say. Figures, where'd you work? Just some dive bar overseas. Wretched type of scum and villainy. The owner would never shut up about treating every client like royalty. Sounds like a pain in the arse if you ask me. I'm not asking actually, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless. So, can I get you anything? Surprise me. You'd like me to pick you something? Yeah. Mind if I ask you a couple questions? Are they related to the drink? Yep. Shoot. Okay. What's your favorite white wine? You're not making me a wine cocktail, are you? No. I'm partial to a glass of Marsanne every now and again. Fancy. Next question. Have you ever read a star chart? Like in astrology? No. Why? I don't put any stock in mysticism. That's a shame. Hey, this place isn't mystical. To some people, this place seems otherworldly. For others, this is just the world they live in. It's built out of cold, hard facts. I just don't know them all yet. Alright, fair enough. Last questions. You're walking in the shallows of an ocean that seems to go into the distance forever. You can't see any land aside from the sand under your feet. Whenever you step forward, the sand sinks just a little bit. As far as you can see, there's no way to escape. Drowning is the only possible outcome. What do you do? Wow, I feel like you're about to pull a void comp machine or something. It's obviously some sort of test. I run, I swim, I dive when I can. And if I eventually drown, so be it. There's nowhere else to go and no point to sitting and waiting for starvation or sharks or someone to save me. I have to take action. Interesting. So what's the verdict? Samantha did not get a response. Maddie's eyes had glazed over as soon as she'd answered the last question, And now she stood perfectly still, gazing intensely at the rows and rows of dusty bottles lining the dustier shelves. Her lips moved, but no words came out. As Samantha watched, a flask of red liquid twitched, seemingly of its own accord. Maddie craned her neck up at it and scowled. In response, a smaller bottle, next to the first and surely only big enough to hold a few drops of something, began to glow. Her scowl shifted to a wry smile. Whoa, that's cool. Please, you don't need to open anything new on my account. Gotcha. Your answers were interesting. Coming from some people, that might sound like a non-committal remark, but coming out of Maddie, it might be the most effusive praise you'll ever get. So what are your questions? I'm still having a little trouble figuring out how they relate to each other, though. Is that important? I try to maintain a vague hope that maybe one day things might make sense. And until then, I just try to go with the flow, of course. Sorry for trying to psychoanalyze you there. Try? Do you think you failed? No? What's the verdict then? Well, for one, you tend to accept things as you see them. You don't try to interpret things based off of unrelated frameworks or thought patterns. That said, you do try and make sense of the connections between things when you can. Maddie's pretty sure she has all the pieces. She's found that putting all the pieces together requires a bit more effort. But it's no big deal to you if you don't. You just try to mark it as an unknown variable and move on. That reads to me as an intensely pragmatic approach. Would you agree? I suppose. You're the sort who doesn't buy drinks to enjoy them. You buy them as camouflage. If your experience is pretending to be something you're not in order to blend in, you might develop a talent for recognizing when others are trying to do the same. To hide your face behind. To practice a veneer of being untouchable while you watch. Watch what? Everything, I suppose. You take everything in the same way I do. So you're saying that I'm attentive, but that I don't worry about instantly understanding how things are interconnected? Because you're confident that eventually you'll understand it anyway. How do you figure that? You've been watching my hands this whole time. Is that weird? To watch an attractive bartender mix a very fancy-looking cocktail? Do you appreciate a craft? No. But given just how interested you are in what my hands are doing, I'd wager that you've got some experience in my field. So are you just really bad at picking up on when you're being flirted with, or... Oh my. It's fine, sweetie. In fact, it's pretty cute. I meant in alchemy. The field of alchemy. I'm sure you're very accomplished in alchemy. Just take the drink. Shit, this is really good. Yeah? Too good to ignore, yeah. It's smoky, but bittersweet, and it's the contrast with the bitters that merely makes you appreciate the sweetness, or is it the other way around? It almost makes me feel like I'm reaching the end of something. Like I've got a lump in my throat from saying goodbye. But I can't quite tap into that feeling. Like, what did you even put in this? Mystical artichoke bitters, golden heart bitters, and a slice of gorilla lime. Gorilla lime? It can't be a real thing. It's hard to acquire. Called that because if you bite into one, it feels like you've got punched by a gorilla. Physically? No, emotionally. Haha, makes sense. I am not a wizard. Prove it. That guy, the boss you mentioned? Yeah. He's good to you? I'm sorry? Does he treat you well? Yeah. To a fault, actually. Far past the point where it's rational for him to still be nice to me. No one's ever actually accused old Che being rational. That doesn't stop him from trying to be the voice of reason. Good. Actually, I'm sorry. That reminds me, I have to dash. Got some setup work for a project to finish before the sun comes up. Maddie rarely engages in Carol shenanigans, so when she's up to something, you best be on your guard. But without you here, will enable my latent alcoholism. You could just reach over the bar and grab the gin tonics in the bar's fridge. Tonics in the bar fridge. Will do. Come back soon, though. She's cute. Samantha's a cutie. I'd love to discuss alchemy with you some more. Catch you later. Wait, one last thing. What was the meaning behind the question about what wine I like? Oh. I was just curious.